Welcome to the Dream Team Tonic podcast. With me, as usual, we've got Ben. Say hi, Ben. Or don't.
All right, how are you doing?
Dream Team Professor, aka Scott.
Good evening.
And special monthly guest, former Dream Team winner, Fergie.
Hello, James. Hello, chaps. Nice to be on again.
Thanks for coming on, mate.
Good to have you.
Right, before we kick off, I'd just like to remind everybody it's never too late to sign up to the Patreon. We've got loads of active top managers in our Discord. Come and join us. Give it a go. For the price of a coffee, it's worth every penny. I'd like to welcome Graham Payne as a new patron this month. Thanks, Graham. We appreciate your support. Right, as usual, with Fergie being our guest, we'll let you go first, Fergie. How did you get on this week?
Well, I got to be honest, I thought I had a fantastic week until I just looked at your score, James. I was buzzing. 104 points. It was 105 overnight, but they took a point off Saka. But yeah, 104 points. Johnston 9, Estupinian 5, Cash 9. I've got Reguilon, which is a bit of a story, which I'll touch on now, but he got 6. Saka 16, Eze 6, Fernandes 10, Foden 12, Salah 12, Haaland 16, Alvarez 3. So I thought I absolutely smashed it, and I saw your score. But I took out Trippier last week, which may sound a bit bizarre. Well, I brought him in before the international break. He did well for me in the week I had him. I think he got 17 points, 2 clean sheets. And then all week I was trying to work out how to get in Salah. So I've obviously been watching him, and he's bloody frightening. I heard you guys chatting about him last week, and he's just so scary. And with his price and the fact he'd scored last week, and he'd be going up again, so I had to get him in. But my only route to him was obviously off the premium, which was either Haaland, Bruno, who were the two I was thinking of. Obviously not Haaland. I would never take Haaland. So I had a plan to take out Bruno. But then the more I thought about it with Bruno, the more I looked at the fixtures, the more I looked at the game. And again, you guys speaking about it last week, I was just thinking, I can't be taking out. It just seems like a suicide move. I'm not talking about one particular game. I just mean in general. Like, I think players like him and Haaland and Saka and they just got a hold, right? So I was all set to take out Bruno, but I really wasn't comfortable with it. So at the last moment, like about 2 hours to go, I was trying to find out, and the only route out was Trippier. So I did Trippier and Sterling, who was an obvious move out anyway, to Salah and Reguilon, because he was probably the only person I could afford. So I got 18 points off Salah and Reguilon. Trippier, I'm not sure how much he got, actually. 16, 17, was it?
17, I think.
Yeah, and and Diaby probably got a few. I know he didn't return as such, but I'm guessing he got a few as well. But I do think overall I'm much more comfortable having Salah. And the main reason was because I didn't want his price to get away from me, because he's one of those who, if you don't get him and he keeps rising, he's just almost impossible to get to without taking out someone like Haaland or, even Bruno, who's gone down to 6. So that was the main reason. So it may sound like a bit of a violent moment, but I think long term I'm quite happy, because I do feel that the midfielders and forwards will significantly outscore the defenders in the long term. And that's why I've made that move. So yeah, I'm not quite sure actually my overall rank. I should have a look, but a good start to the season. I think I'm really happy. So yeah, how you guys do?
Ben, how did you get on this week?
I was just going to ask Fergie first about Eze and Johnston. Are you considering moving them on next week?
I think so. I've only got 0.6 in the bank, so Eze's been amazing. But you just look at the points around that are available on offer at the moment, and even those 6 points for Eze, again, who didn't do anything, is incredible. He's been scoring like 6 or 8 every week. Like Foden 12, Bruno 10, Saka 16, Salah 12. There's just points everywhere available, and I think with the volume of fixtures, with the quality of players around, I'm looking at someone like Ward-Prowse, for example, who's definitely on my hit list for next week. He scored 7 points away to Liverpool and didn't breathe, right? So, and he's a 90-minute man for 2 games a week. So I think Eze will be going this week. I'd like to get rid of Johnston, but I can't because I haven't got the money. So I think at the moment he's just going to have to. I'm going to have to suck it up a little bit. I've got him. I have got Reguilon as well. I've got a lot of money further up the field, but at the moment I think that's the right way to go, to be honest. So, as much as Eze's been amazing for me, got me value, got me points. I think looking at it now going forward, now they won't have any more doubles for a long time. I think he's going to have to be the 4 guy, sadly.
Are you worried not having a Newcastle in the back line? Do you think you might go for one of the centre backs just to cover? Or
I might do to cover, yeah. But like I say, I do feel that the forwards and midfielders are just outscoring them as well. And Newcastle now have kept, I think, 3 clean sheets on the trot in all competitions, which is really good. But they have got they've got some decent games that are coming up in the league, but they have got, PSG next week is there, and Dortmund is there, and whatever else. So I think they were fortunate not to concede against Brentford. I think Visser had an easy chance and stuff. So I just think, I would rather cheer on players, and this is why I'm really enjoying this format, like creating chances, having shots on target, getting goals, than just hope the clean sheets hold. So I think at the moment I'm on the strategy of cheap at the back, just cheap playing players, double game weekers at the back, say Cash, Estepina and Reguilon, and then try and pump all the money up front at the moment is my plan.
Looks good like
that. Cool.
Yeah. I got 88 points this week. I think when I went to sleep last night it was 91, but I think I've lost a couple of bonus points.
You lost a couple of boners overnight.
Yeah, I know Saliba lost his bonus and Saka, but I can't think of where the other one went. So Johnston 9 points, Saliba 2, Cash 9. Yeah, I think it was one of the Villa players that had an extra point.
I think it was Luca Dean was on 10.
Yeah, I had Cash and Digne, a double Villa defence. So they both got 9. Saka 16, Fernandes 10. Ericsson didn't play. First player for me not to play so far this season, so I've got to get rid of him. Diaby 3, Haaland captain 16, Salah 12, and Rashford 2. 12k now I am, so still rising steadily. James has overtaken me now with that massive score. Oh, we haven't spoken about it yet, have we? Yeah, fantastic. I've got 3 transfers as well. I held my transfers this week.
Purposely? This time?
Well, definitely purposely. I couldn't really think of anything to do. I could have done Rashford to Alvarez, and I think it was the goalie. I could have changed. Yeah, I could have brought in like Martinez or something like that. But I just thought Palace have better fixture in the league. I just thought Martinez might not play in the cup, so I just thought I'll leave that. And I thought Rashford probably play both games in the league and cup as well. So, and I just wanted Ericsson to do a little cameo, get a couple of points, for his price. I could have maybe brought Reguilon in instead of him. So that's my thinking of my plan at the moment. Monitoring that because he's rumoured to be injured and he went off early.
Yeah. They said illness. They said illness after the game, but wait and see what happens midweek, I suppose. If he's in the squad, you'd probably trust him, wouldn't you?
Yeah. I can if I bring Reguilon in for Ericsson and sell Rashford and Johnston, I can get Alvarez, and then I can also get Pope in goal. But then that's me have no money in the bank. So I don't know. I might still bring a cheaper European keeper because Onana's only 3.5 and Martinez is 3.2, isn't he? Yeah. So I don't know, something like that. I might go cheaper just so that get extra budget in for the future transfers in a few weeks' time.
Yeah, I'm liking the look of Martinez now. Now he looks like the best option, I think, in goal from the European sides.
How much is he? Sorry, Martinez?
3.2.
He's not that far away from Johnson, as he was at 1.6.
1.7 away.
Not too bad.
Shall I go up next and we've saved the best for last? We'll save James for last.
Yeah, you go next, Scott. How'd you get on?
96 for me. 96 points. 550 for the total, and up to 7.7k. Sanchez in goal got me 5 somehow. Quite a lot of saves to make in that Chelsea team at the minute. Stupinan 5, Saliba 2, Matty Cash got 9. I got Reggie on as well, 6 points. Just sweating on him now. I kept faith in Bruno, got me 10. Saka got 16. Foden 12. I bought in Alvarez, but just got the 3 points. But I think that was unfortunate, really. I think he probably came off because Rodri got the red, wasn't it?
He got Rodri. He was really unlucky.
So I'd fancy him to start probably in this League Cup game now, seeing as he went off early, I'd imagine. Then Salah, 12 points, and Haaland, 16. So not a bad week, but a good week, really. But one of the guys that I took out was Matoma. I had a feeling that Matoma was going to get rotated out because
you were right. Well done.
Yeah, and I was right. Well done. And then off the bench and scored 2. So I'm making a bit of a habit of this, aren't I? As soon as I took Son, I bought Son in last time we spoke, Fergie. I took him out and he scored a hat trick.
I saw.
Yeah, it's not going to plan. So whoever I take out at the time seems to do quite well at the minute.
Let us know who we're going to take out in plenty of time.
Yeah, we'll do. But yeah, not a bad week overall. And probably like most people, I'm looking at how I can get a Newcastle, well, apart from you, Fergie, how I can get a Newcastle defender in.
Might do. I think I prefer Walker. I don't know. I was just looking at the teams. I think Walker.
Yeah. Well, I'm looking to maybe go for the park the bus around maybe game week 9. So I'm starting to move some money towards the back, but we'll come on to that later. But onto the man himself.
121 points, boy. Actually, I think it might be slightly less than that because I noticed that Digne's got 10 points. I did that screenshot fairly. Obviously, I'm 5 hours behind, so I was working on the notes and stuff at like 1 o'clock in the morning your time. So they must have made those points changes quite late. So anyway, yes, I'm quite happy. So last week I brought in Nunez and Salah, and they've done well both last week and this. This week I brought in Dan Burn and Digne for Aaron Hickey and Chilwell. So yeah, it's a monster score. Johnson 9, Burn 14, Digne 9, I believe, not 10, as per my screenshot. Walker 9, Fernandez 10, Saka 17. Diaby was the only player that didn't really do anything for me. He got 1 tackle, I think, or shot on target. So he got 3 points. Foden 12, Nunez 9, Captain Haaland 16, and Salah 12. So yeah, nice little. That's really bumped me back up because I've had a couple of was doing all right. Then after I boasted a couple of weeks ago that I was at the top of the tree, everything went wrong for 2 weeks, and now I'm back up there. So I'm quite.
You'll break 200, won't you?
Well, I don't know because if you look at my side, how many of those are actually going to play in the Carabao Cup? That's the only thing. I don't know. Who knows? Could be.
Yeah, Liverpool don't go strong normally, do they? Your lot, they don't normally go very strong in the League Cup.
No, we tend to. Well, it's only Leicester, so we probably don't need to put out too strong.
Yeah. Oh yeah, did you hear, Ben?
You're on fire, mate. We're going to smash it.
I wouldn't be surprised if we lost because Leicester they're near the top of the Championship, aren't they?
Top, mate. Top of the shop.
Oh, are you top now? Wow.
Yeah.
Last time I looked, it was Ipswich, I think.
He was bad mouthing Leicester when you weren't here, Ben.
I know. I listened to the pod. Yeah.
So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Klopp puts out. Well, I say reserves. Our attacking players. You could put any one of those in. Johnson will probably start because he didn't start at the weekend. Gakpo probably start as well. I mean, it's pretty decent, but I don't own those players. But I suspect big guns will be on the bench.
Yeah. I think you've got an attack like Baywatch and a defence like Crime Watch.
That, mate, very good.
So you can just play any strikers, can't you, really? You've got loads of good ones. But the defence ain't that very good. So
yeah.
Might end up with Kwanzaa in defence again or something like that. Is it Kwanzaa?
No, that's the Villa defender, isn't it?
Oh no, you're a youngster.
Yeah, the youngster that played the other day. Kwanzaa.
Oh, Kwansai or something like that. Yeah.
1.5.
I follow Liverpool quite closely, and he's come out of nowhere as far as I'm concerned. I read he had a good pre-season, but he looked good. There was talk that he might start at the weekend just gone, so clearly it's a bit too soon for him. He's still young, but I would be surprised if he doesn't start midweek. Yeah. Cool. Right. Moving on. Let's get into these listener questions.
Yep.
Dream Team Patrick's been on. He says, who do you think are the key players to target for game week 7? What do you reckon, Fergie?
James Ward-Prowse. He is top of my list. Fixtures are really good. Obviously played in Europe as well. Fixtures go on and on, actually, just having a look. They play United and Arsenal on the 23rd of December, but before then they're in Europe every week, and their fixtures are spanking. I think he's averaging. I had a quick look on Friday, which is why I couldn't get to him. But I was having a look, and he's averaging like 8 points a game. Got 7 points on the weekend again for doing nothing. 90-minute man, set pieces, whatever else. So he is personally my number one target for next week, because I just think he's going to score those kind of points every game he plays, which will be probably every game. So chuck him up. In terms of Newcastle defenders, I think, like I said, just looking through the fixtures now, obviously you've got City midweek, and they're home to Burnley. I think you have to expect a clean sheet against Burnley. Fair enough. PSG, probably not. Away to West Ham the week after, probably not for me. Palace at home could be hit and miss. Then they've got Dortmund. They got Arsenal a week after. I've got no doubt they'll do well, but I just think other players will do better. I suppose is my point, is that you just got to look at Salah's points this week. He's got we got the 2-pointer, and I know you can get 2, 3, 4 points to be a defender, but when you're looking at players like Eze and, as I say, Ward-Prowse and and those kind of players who can get 6 or 7 points for doing nothing in games, I personally think that's where the points lie, and that's where they'll add up. Like I say, they're not bad options by any stretch, right? I'm sure they'll do well. I just think overall other players will do better, personally.
Ben, you up? Got any?
Sorry, I lost you there, guys.
Oh, that's all right.
I'm targeting probably Alvarez. I think I might take Rashford out for Alvarez. Downgrade, get some money from Rashford. I've got 5 premiums, you see, so I'm thinking maybe Alvarez. He's playing all the time now with De Bruyne being injured and so many injuries in the Man City team. He's looking pretty nailed now. Until further notice. Set pieces, yeah. Lots of shots, so he gets a point for every shot on target. So and he's playing for the best team in the league. That's Saka. It's just the obvious ones, really, that I'm going to say. Like, I liked how Fergie looked at it, though, by looking at James Ward-Prowse. What do you think?
Villa as well are going to. I think I need brought Diaby, and I quite look at Diaby. Looking at the fixtures again, the fixtures are fantastic for a long time as well. I think defense, midfield, and attack. Matty Cash, I've got him in. I'm so glad I did. He had 2 shots on target this week. How he didn't score last week in the league, I will never know. He was everywhere. He's looking really good as well.
He even managed to do right off the bench, didn't he? In that European game.
Yeah, I really like him. I'm sure Watkins and Diaby and that lot are going to do well as well. So I would say that Villa and West Ham are the two teams who we haven't really seen much of so far, who I think are going to go on a really good run now because they're European games and Premier League, and the fact they're just like really good teams in general. I think they're the ones I would, as Ben said, aside from the obvious, right? We're not going to talk about Haaland and Salah and all that because we know they're all good, right? So.
Yeah, and also I like this new format. Even when the players come off the bench, they've got loads of ways of scoring points. Yeah. They can still get 2-3 points off the bench. So it's not a big deal if, say, like Cash isn't starting in Europe. You can still come on and do something. Diaby is the same.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I guess that suits the... I mean, if you go in defenders, I feel like that suits the fullbacks definitely a little bit more, doesn't it? Because they can come on and have a couple shots or big chances. You're not going to get a centre-back subbed on if they're rotated, are you?
No, that's right.
Scott, did you give your picks for game week 7? I lost the connection for a minute or so.
No, I haven't yet. I'd put Ward-Prowse, and then I'd actually put Zuma next to it as well, because I'm looking at they've got Sheffield United, haven't they? And I don't think Zuma will play that game week 7 Europa League game. But seeing how Trippier was putting those balls into the centre-backs, you can imagine James Ward-Prowse doing the same thing with Zuma, couldn't you? He had a really good header against City, I think it was the other day. Reguilon, if he's fit, I think Bruno and Reguilon, I think United are going to turn it around now, to be honest. I think the fixtures look too good for them. And then Villa, I agree with Villa, to be honest. I put Martinez and then Cash/Digne. You went Digne, didn't you, Ben? And I thought Cash was the better option. But Digne smashed it recently.
I nearly went Luca Dean, but I know Marino he's almost back in East. So that was my only concern, whether they share minutes, whereas Cash looks nailed, doesn't he, at the moment? I
think it's good as well that with Villa, they rotated a fair bit the last game and then they lost, didn't they? I think they're bottom of their group now, so
they have to win.
Yeah, they can't mess about anymore, to be honest, I don't think. So yeah, I think Villa could be a good shout. And then, I do think that Newcastle defence will be good. I did see that, I think someone said it in our Discord chat, which made me look into it, which was Mbappe went off injured in the last game for PSG. So I don't know how serious or not it will be, but if they do have no Mbappe for that game, that looks even better for Newcastle, doesn't it? I know they've got a lot of other great players, but yeah, that's me.
I had West Ham written down as well. I don't think anyone mentioned Bowen. But the only problem with Bowen is who did you drop for Bowen?
Is he a forward in this game? Is he?
Yeah. No, he's a midfielder. Yeah. So I was chatting to my mate who's a West Ham fan, and he says Paqueta is potentially injured, and that might have a big impact on the side. So he said he was going to wait and see what happened with the injury news with Paqueta before making any moves for West Ham players.
Got a suggestion from Baz in the chat. Sofal?
He's got a bad record with Sofal, hasn't he, from last season? He loves mentioning him in the Discord all the time.
Yeah. We've got Baz. We've got Seth. We've got Andy Barnett, Jordan. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, according to Baz, every week last season, Sofal was going to score a screamer in the 90th. He never quite managed that.
He got an assist this week.
I tell you what, Bowen's getting his head on things, isn't he? He leaps like a salmon.
That was quite a good header, wasn't it? That sort of stooping, diving header. You don't see a huge amount of those in the league anymore.
Yeah, there's that one. He got quite close. I think he out-jumped Virgil for one of the crosses as well. I couldn't believe it.
Surely not.
Yeah.
I just realised I've been commenting in a private chat between all of us rather than commenting in the comments. I was thinking, why is the chat so quiet, the ignorant bastards? I was in the wrong bloody channel. Never mind.
Next question is for Fergie. Do you have a plan for when you're going to use your boosters? Says Dream Team Patrick.
Yeah, it's a bit of a boring answer, but at the moment my answer is no. And the reason for that, it's more of an FPL experience thing, is I found more often than not in FPL that when I try and manipulate my team around to use boosters, to use chips, for example, I always end up taking out players who go on to smash it, and I can't get them back. And we haven't got any kind of wild cards or anything to completely overhaul our team as well. And I was also thinking, because when I put Salah in on the weekend, it obviously gives me 3 up front, and I can't, unless one of them gets injured, I can't see me wanting to take out Salah, Haaland, or Alvarez, who I think are probably 3 of the highest potential point scorers in the game for the next 4 to 6 weeks.
Yeah.
To mess around with my team to get 5 at the back to use one chip. I know, I know how powerful the chip is. I've seen it in my mini leagues. Some guy overtook me from like 60 points behind me and overtook me a couple of weeks ago. And I was like, how the hell has he scored all those? I can see why, because it's an incredible chip. But on the same note, I think it's going to be incredible for most of the season. I think we've got so many opportunities to use it that, at the moment I'm on 3-4-3. I'm sure there'll be periods where I'm on 3-5-2 or 4-4-2. And then I'll probably look around then to maybe manipulate it for 1 week, but then I'm in and out, rather than at the moment, who'd you take out of Salah, Haaland, and Alvarez?
Yeah,
because I ain't taking any of them out. So that's the park the bus, which I think will be an incredible chip. But I want to make sure that I use it when it suits me, not when it not when it doesn't. In terms of the other 2, in terms of the 12th man, I nearly used it a couple of weeks ago on Salah, and he did well actually. He got about 16 points or something. But again, I think it's funny as well, because when you have a good start, I think the psychology changes with it all. So I just had a look at 1.7k, which is pretty decent. I think I'm like 2 points behind Tony, and I've had a good start. I had a horror show last year, so I think when you're in that position as well, don't feel like I'm chasing either, and I feel like I can use it when it's going to benefit me, and whether there's going to be the season goes, right? We're only 6 weeks in, and I know there are nice weeks coming up, but there will be weeks like Haaland's double Premier League game week in FPL game week 19, whatever it is incredible. It's absolutely insane. So that could be a chance to use one of the chips, or when I'm really can't get to a player and I'm really desperate. That's it. I haven't been desperate. Like at this point in the season for me, I'm not desperate for an extra 20 points. It's not going to impact my season either way, really. Whereas it might more towards the end if I'm going for a mini league, or if I just need a bit of a boost. So, and the other chip where it puts it on the captain, I think, is that right? On the highest scoring one. Again, I think at the moment, again, Haaland is playing twice every week and he'll be captained by everyone. I just think that, again, there'll be opportunities. It's a long old season, right? And there could even be, we don't know, like a triple game week at some point, right? It may land something like that. One team may have a triple game week, just as an example. So yeah, a bit of a boring answer, but no, I haven't yet. I'm gonna hopefully let it organically fall into a spot where it suits me and my team, rather than trying to force it, because I've been caught out so many times in FPL.
Yeah.
Thanks, Fergie. I'm sure we'll still get questions every week on when are we going to use the boosters until someone comes up with the magic formula. Matt Woolley's asked, linked to Patrick's question 1, and I realise his was a wider question. Is it too scary not to have a Newcastle player given their upcoming run? What do you think, Ben?
Is it too scary not to have one? Well, I haven't got one, and I'm not that worried. I would love to have Trippier, obviously, but yeah. I mean, like Fergie said, I'd prefer to have a Man City defender. So like Walker's 3.5 million. Is he still? He's around that anyway. I think he's a better option, and he's like the captain of the team now. He's nailed in the back line. So, and he's playing a lot further forward this year. So I'd probably go for him over a Newcastle defender at the moment, unless you're going to like rip your team up. And I mean, why would you want to? I'd rip your team up to put a defender in. I don't know. Just I wouldn't be that fussed, especially with the Champions League group they've got. It's quite tough as well. So,
Yeah. What do you think, Scott?
Yeah, I'm scared. I am scared. Well, I was looking to maybe play the part of the bus in 9, and I wanted Trippier in my team for that. But at the moment, I can't really. I wasn't planning on getting him in this early, to be honest with you. I was planning to get him in a bit nearer the time, but now I'm worrying now that Trippier is doing this well and that his price is increasing. I'm worried that he might end up getting away from me. So I'm thinking of this week, maybe just sticking a Botman in, a Burn, someone like that. And as a backup, if Trippier ends up getting away from me, I have maybe got a little backup there. And then if it comes to it and I can get Trippier in, I don't think it's the end of the world to have 2 for that game week 9 that looks good. But yeah, I think that I'm probably going to just get 1 in at the minute, just as a little bit of cover. But I think it just suits whatever your plan is, really. I sort of feel like I've committed to this game week 9 or game week 11. So, yeah, I'm going to get 1 in.
Okay. Anything to add on that one, Fergie?
No, I just think not. I mean, how many points did he score this week? Was it 16 or 17?
17, I think.
17.
Yeah, 17.
And it's probably fair to say, I don't know if you disagree, that he's probably had his performance of the season there.
Yeah.
I mean, how many more times is he going to get a clean sheet and 3 assists? Whereas Salah got 1 goal only and 12 points. It's only 5 less. And he's going to do that every week. I say every week. Every other week. So that's the answer for me is with Trippier, he's not going to score that every week, every game, whereas Salah has the potential to. I think when you're choosing between premiums, which, he is a premium price, and Trippier, he's 5.4 now, I think, is he?
Yeah.
That's what swings it that way for me. Don't get me wrong, on a booster, if he smashes it on a boost, he's going to catapult you out, right? It'll be absolutely amazing. You'll score 100 points of your defense alone. It will be amazing, but everyone else can use it at a different time. But yeah, that's my take.
I suppose where it is the nature of that part of the bus being defenders as well, it is just a flip of a coin, basically, isn't it? There are some people that are going to be really unlucky with 1 goal wiping out the clean sheet.
It only takes 1 goal. That's
yeah.
it. Isn't it? Yeah, and the thing with Botman especially, I mean, that was his first goal in his 50th appearance. Like, his points have been inflated this week. They're not like 8-0 was, I think, is that a record away Premier League win or something? It's just, I just think it's just a bit.
Even Dan Burn as well. Dan Burn, I think that's his 2nd goal. I think I saw as well. So it's not like they're going to do it regularly, I don't think.
No. But they will score lots of points. But I'm not saying they won't in the slightest, but I just think others will score more over time.
I think we're worried because of the situation that happened last year, where there was a bit of a Newcastle train, wasn't there? And then there was a bit of a Man United block as well. And I think it's a bit of fear of missing out, isn't it? But I guess we've got the transfers 2 a week to be able to jump on at any point. I think, shall I move on to the next question? Because I think that James might be struggling with his internet a little bit.
Can you hear me now, boys? I'm back.
You can hear you. You're frozen on the screen, but we can hear you.
Okay. Yeah. So, it's all right. Moving on. If it goes again, I'll let you take over, Scott. Because it's annoying. It's very bad today. Lee Hooper, is Trippier essential? And I'm considering a Newcastle triple up next week. Am I getting too carried away? Well, I think we probably know the answer to that one. Anyone got anything to add that we haven't already covered on that question?
I just think with only having 1 team, it's got the potential to. It's one of those, you live by the sword, you die by the sword thing. Yeah. It could catapult you up. You could have an incredible season, on the same note, you could die a death and have a horrible season. And I think it's a bit too early to go all in, just from like a strategic perspective, personally.
Wise words there. Anybody else got anything to add on that one?
Not from me.
Okay.
No, I don't think like looking at the fixtures, they might get one clean sheet a week. I can't see them getting 2 a week. I mean, 1 clean sheet's great, but I don't know. I wouldn't go all in. 2 maximum, maybe.
Yeah. Cool. Staying on the Newcastle theme, it is a Newcastle theme tonight. In case anyone hadn't noticed.
Aye, man.
If you were to sacrifice a premium player to bring in Trippier, which players would you be willing to sacrifice? So if I wrote down a list of what I would consider premium players. We won't discuss Haaland because you'd be mad to take him out. Starting with Saka, let's go around the room. Scott, would you take Saka out for Trippier?
No, not at this point. No, I'd only do it. I think if I was actually doing that chip at the time, but not for a normal team.
Ben, I think I know Fergie's answer, but we'll ask him anyway.
He scored the same points as him this week, didn't he? As Trippier.
Yeah, exactly.
1 point. No, not for me. He's.
What about Salah? What about Salah? We'll speed this one up because otherwise it'll take too long. Scott, yes or no?
No.
Ben?
No.
Fergie?
No.
All right, next one. Fernandes. Scott?
No.
Ben?
No.
Fergie?
No, but of all the premiums, it would be him or of all of them for me, but still no.
Okay. And the last premium, if you're considering, by price, is Rashford. This one might be trickier, I think. Scott?
I think I'd do it for Rashford. Yeah, I think I would.
Okay. Ben?
I'm 50-50 on that. I don't know.
Okay.
I am tempted. I've got Rashford, and I'm tempted to take him out just because he's so expensive, just to put more money in my team.
Yeah.
Because he hasn't really done anything yet.
All those other guys are on pens as well, aren't they?
Yeah.
Big thing.
Yeah.
There's a lot of money for someone who's not scoring many goals. So
yeah.
I'm tempted to take him out.
As a slight aside, I watched the United game and it looked like Rashford was desperate to set up Højlund rather than go for goal himself, which was bizarre. There's a couple of times when I thought, shoot, and he was just trying to set his new striker up. So that didn't bode particularly well. I know it's only one game, but he didn't show anything in that game to make me think, God, I've got to get it. Fergie, what do you think? Rashford, would you drop him for Trippier?
I don't think so. Well, I changed my mind. I would say of them all, it would be Rashford ahead of Bruno.
Yeah.
I would do it, but still, I'm just not big on the defense. I'm just not overall. I just think that the point scoring favors the forward players.
Yeah, I think we're probably all in agreement with that, to be honest. We've looked at the stats. It's proven in the stats the defenders aren't getting hardly any bonus points. Obviously, you're not getting that many shots on target, big chances created. So it is weighted a lot more towards the midfield and the forwards.
Yeah, Trippier has got the most bonus points out of the defenders, but I mean, strikers can just shoot and get 1 point, can't they? If they get one shot on target.
Yeah.
And Rashford normally is one for a shot, but I must have been told off or something because in the last match he was trying to set up like you said, Højlund all the time instead of shooting. And the match before that, he was shooting loads.
He was. I reckon he's had a bollocking because of that.
Yeah.
Last week, wasn't it? Yeah.
Okay.
All I'd done is I'd highlighted just a couple fixtures because I think I'm going to have to do this to get. If I do want to go ahead with the plan for game week 9, I will have to probably lose. I've said either Saka or Bruno, and all I was looking at was in game week 8 when Arsenal play City. I might consider losing Saka because Arsenal have got City, Chelsea, Sevilla, and then Bruno's got Brentford, Sheffield United, and Copenhagen. But then that game week 10, Arsenal plays Sheffield United, and then Man United play City. So you could swap them back potentially. But I think that's only worthwhile if you are probably going to play a booster.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Andy Barnett's been on. Trippier, Burn, Botman, and Shah make up the four of the top 6 scoring defenders over the last 3 game weeks. Could this be a similar scenario to last year when Newcastle went on a great run? And are you thinking of a Toon block? I think we've already answered that one. So we're going to move on.
Notwithstanding, they are in the Champions League this year, so it's completely different, I think, this year.
Yeah. Aman's been on. Can Nunez cover Salah? What do you think of that, Fergie?
Yeah, I like Nunez. I don't think he can cover Salah just because of the minutes, because Salah gets 90 every league game. He looks like he's going to maybe get 30 off the bench in Europa, or he probably starts a couple as well, I'm guessing. Whereas Nunez seems to average around 45 or 50 every game. But I do think he's a good third striker option. So I don't think he can match him. But I do think I would rather have Nunez than Trippier. I'm going to get after roasting for saying that. but I would rather have Nunez and Trippier. I think he's going to be a really good option moving forward. I think he's going to score a lot of goals. It's just his minutes. That's just the only thing which will hold me back.
I think there's a lot of people right now who are listening to this and will be listening to this are going to be going, but I was thinking I had to get Trippier in. I think they're going to rethink that now based on what we've said. I'm not saying they're wrong. It will be definitely planting a few seeds of doubt. What do you think of Nunez covering Salah, Scott?
I mean, he's done well, hasn't he, so far this season? I was trying to have a think if there was any better alternatives elsewhere. So, like, can you downgrade Saka to someone below? You can get to Ødegaard, but you're not saving as much. There's no downgrade from Bruno, really, that's as good as that downgrade, is there, from Salah to Nunez? So, yeah, I don't dislike it. I don't think I'm going to do it myself, but I think it's all right. Are you, Ben?
Yeah, I wouldn't do it. I just think the ownership on Salah, if he bangs and then Nunez is just sat on the bench doing nothing, it's just going to hurt so badly. Especially not having Salah. He's only 28% owned overall. I haven't looked at the top 1,000 or whatever yet, because everyone's still getting the
Apologies, guys. I lost you there again.
It's all right, James. I said I wouldn't do it because of the ownership of Salah. I just think it'll hurt you badly if he goes off on a hat trick or whatever. He's even though he's only guaranteed 1 game a week, I just think he could just come off the bench in Europe and score quite a few points.
Good.
So yeah, I wouldn't do it, and it's so frustrating watching Nunez, the amount of chances he misses.
Especially as a Salah owner. The amount I've watched quite a few Liverpool games already, and he was putting them on a plate for Nunez at times. I think there was one in that last game as well that he missed. Yeah, he's frustrating.
Not to dwell on the point, but Nunez has got 44 points and Trippier's got 49. It's not that big a difference, considering Nunez has just trickled along and Trippier has just absolutely banged the last 3 games.
I saw an interesting stat. Darwin Nunez averages a goal every 141 minutes for Liverpool. And by comparison, Salah is 134 minutes. Torres is 135. Suarez was 138. So he's doing pretty well.
So he needs minutes. If he plays 90 minutes twice a week, then definitely we'll start considering him. But it's just so many options at Liverpool. It's just a bit, he's going to rotate all the time, Klopp.
Yeah, I think he will. I do wonder if Nunez is now gone. He was 4th choice striker. Now I think he may well be 2nd choice now. It would seem Jota's injury prone, So it makes sense for him to come off the bench. Gakpo's not been hit the heights of last season, although he's been messed about a bit with different positions and things. So I could see Nunez getting more minutes than the others, apart from Salah, of course, who is the most nailed.
You've got Diaz as well.
Take 100 minutes in Nunez every week. Like, if you consider he's playing in the Europa League as well, like it's not going to take a lot for him in a plum fixture to score 2 or 3 goals in one game.
Yeah,
I think Nicholas Jackson's been borrowing Nunez's boots from last season, hasn't he? I think that's why Nunez is looking so good.
I'm going to hand out presenting over to Scott because obviously, for continuity reasons, my internet here is very flaky today, and I think it will flow better if Scott could do the honors.
What were we on last? Nunez covering Salah. I'll just go on to one question we've got in the chat while it's topical. One from Matt: is the internet strong enough in Venezuela to actually watch the football? James?
It is so like not this weekend, just gone. The one before, I had to watch using my mobile data because my internet wasn't good enough. This weekend it was buffering a lot. It's very annoying. It gets, some days are good, some days are.
Oh, that was brilliant. Perfect. I've got
The timing on that.
There's some good clips in here. Well, we'll go into the next question.
You're going to clip that and put that as a shot on YouTube.
Yeah. That and Fergie's quote on Nunez will outscore Trippier. That'll make
He will, mate. He will.
Right. Question from Magoo. Between now and game week 12, which two are more essential between Bruno, Salah, Trippier, and Saka? Have we done this one? Which two are more essential? If you had to choose 2 of those 4. Do you want to go, Ben?
Let's have a look. I definitely would have Saka in my team, but it's like you said, the fixtures are between now. They're going to be playing Man City, aren't they? Arsenal. Oh,
Both have got decent fixtures, really.
Yeah, I think Saka definitely. I think, and then, I mean, Salah can just get points. So can Bruno, though, can't he? So, yeah, Trippier would be my 4th choice out of them. I'd have to go Salah and Saka.
Same for me.
Yeah. I don't want to lose any of those, to be fair. I've got Bruno, Salah, and Saka at the minute. And I think I would only lose one of them just for Trippier on that chip. So I think if I had to choose 2, I think I'd say Salah and Saka at the moment. But I guess now we've got the extra transfers, you can just go between who's on form at the time, I suppose.
Yeah, and who has the fixtures.
Although I try and do that, and then they get hat tricks, don't they? So
yeah.
Right, we've got Nathan Wisby. So in game week 8, he's asking Maddison captain for Luton versus Spurs. What do you guys reckon on that one? I suppose you could throw Son in the mix as well.
Yeah, I like that. I mean, if you've got your team in order and they're all European playing players, you can jump off one to go to Maddison or Son for that game week because it's just a single game week. And then we got the international break again. So, you could do that and then obviously either jump back off or keep him in for Fulham. But I'd probably jump off again to another European player. For that 1 week, though, I don't mind it. I mean, Man City have got a tough game, haven't they? Yeah, they've got
Man City, Arsenal.
Yeah, Arsenal away as well. So, but Haaland, he scored against Arsenal last year, didn't he? Away, Haaland scored 2, didn't he?
Yeah,
I think I remember. Yeah.
Would you lose Saka that game week if you didn't have any other fires or stuff to put out? Would you take Saka out against City for Maddison?
At home as well, though. Arsenal are strong at home, aren't they? So.
Fergie, you're shaking your head. You're not fancying your Spurs fan, aren't you?
I think Madison will do all right. I just think by the time you've used the 2 transfers in and out, you could have moved your team on well enough. I mean, Saka, Salah, Haaland, they're all more than capable of matching Maddison. And can you imagine how frustrating it would be taking out Saka for Maddison just to see Saka go and score a penalty against Man City, Maddison blank, and then you're not only a transfer down, you've lose team value, your points down, and I just think the way I kind of play the game is I try and always keep my team moving forward and not get and kind of organically move into these positions rather than try and force it. And it's only because of being burnt a million times in the past by these sorts of moves. So I think if you've got him already, that's a very fair shout and you're keeping him. But I personally, like, Maddison's not the kind of player who's going to score like a hat-trick either, is he? Don't get me wrong, he can get like 2 assists and I think whatever. I just rather, do you really want to go into a week back in against Haaland, wherever he's playing, or maybe, you can go for Salah. It's just not the way I play it.
Just saw a lot of people do it for Son, didn't we, against Sheffield United, and that was the game that he didn't do anything.
It's a prime example is that, and and Salah again just did what he always does and scored that week or whatever he did, and just for to keep the team moving along.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. Like in normal dream team, like last season, I wouldn't even consider that. But because you've got 2 transfers a week, I'm just saying you could possibly jump on and off. If you've got no other fires in your team to put out, you're happy with your team, you could do it. Like he's averaging 9 points a game, and he got 10 points again at the weekend. I just think Luton is just
it's a plum fixture.
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm not saying I don't think again he'll score points.
Any other format, I probably wouldn't do it, but it's just because of that, the 2 transfers a week, and if you've got no other fires to put out, like we still got fires put out with our goalkeepers and stuff.
Yeah, that's right.
But later on in the season, we might not have any fires put out, so it might be an option.
Yep, that's fair.
Yeah,
I think James is gone, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's got the link, hasn't he? So he can join. I think he can join back if he's. He's just
got to put a couple of pesos in the machine.
In the meter.
In the meter.
Right, we've got Ben C. Would you replace Aston Villa assets this week who suffered from rotation or hold on to them? Should we go to you, Fergie?
I'd hold personally. I think the fixtures are really good. You don't really know who they're going to play in Europe. As we've only seen 1 game so far. Hold. I think they're really good assets to own across the board, defense and attack. Fixtures are amazing for weeks. They go with the Brighton, some European teams starting with Z. Wolves, West Ham, AZ, Luton, Forest, AZ, Fulham. It's crazy fixtures.
Yeah, I'm in agreement. And like I said just previously as well, I think that the fact that they actually lost that game when they rotated, now extra incentive to win, bottom of the group. So, you in agreement, Ben?
Well, I was looking because I've got Diaby in my team. I mean, he's playing as a second striker at the moment, out of position in the game because he's a midfielder. But I am really tempted to bring in Walker, so he's similar price. I might possibly do that, but the other defenders are doing really well for the price. I've got Cash and Digne, so I mean, that's the other thing I should have mentioned before. Like, if I bring Martinez in, there's a triple Villa defense is a bit like we've just been talking about Newcastle triple up. It's a bit scary, really. But
you'll be the only one with the Villa block, I think.
Yeah. I must be one of the only ones with 2 Villa defenders. Like you say, the fixtures are decent though. But that's the only one I'm considering, like Diab, because if he's not getting minutes in Europe, he's not as explosive as like we were talking about, like your elite players like Salah, who can come off the bench and score 20 in 20 minutes and whatever. Yeah. But
James, would you keep hold of your Villa assets this week?
I think I'm going to hold them for a little bit longer, yeah. Like Fergie was saying earlier, Aston Villa's fixtures are quite favourable. And, of course, like Ben said earlier, they lost in the last fixture in Europe. So perhaps he won't rotate quite as much, although I'm not sure about that. The opposition, I've been looking at the opposition and it's not great. In theory, their second string should be good enough. But it's one to watch for sure. Obviously, Digne is probably only a temporary measure anyway. because Moreno might come back. So yeah, I'm good. I don't think I'm desperate to get rid of him right now, but I'll certainly be keeping an eye on the situation.
We'll come on to Baz then. So he's saying after 6 weeks now of the new rules, what do you like and dislike now that you've had a chance to digest it all? Who wants to kick off? James, back to you.
Yeah, sure. I like the fact that we've now got a bigger player pool. It was getting a little stale especially towards the end of the season. Even for us on the podcast, saying which Man City players do you want? As teams go out of Europe, it got more and more restricted. It may still do that, but I've got a feeling there will be a bit more choice. So I think that's the best thing about the new rule changes. I don't like the price rises this year. It feels difficult. I mean, it's because of the way the timings of the deadlines of things. It doesn't feel like you can make the moves to increase your team value, because even if you, like this week, I'm actually thinking of holding this week because literally every single one of my team returned apart from Diaby. So I'm due for some. In theory, I'd be due for some decent price rises. Whether that pans out or not, I know a lot of people have been complaining about the strange price rises. I think Alvarez got 15, 16 points or something week before last week.
27, wasn't it?
He went up 0.1, and people are like, "What's going on?" So yeah, I'm not too keen on the way the price rises are working. I like the fact I don't like it like in FPL when you're like, oh, I've got to fucking make a transfer on a Sunday night. I don't get involved in that anymore. But I do like the fact that they're done on Friday. But I would like the opportunity to sort of it'd be better if there was more insight into how that worked, so that we could make more informed decisions. We're just guessing at the moment. Hopefully FF stuff can crack the algorithm soon. Yeah, that's my the best and worst bits of the new format.
Ben?
Yeah, I agree. I don't like how, remember we used to be able to do the transfers on a Thursday night, and then you get the price rises before the games, the game week starts. But now you have to do it so that the price rises go up after the game week starts now, don't it? So it's like, don't like that. But I like all the new scoring system on it. It's brilliant. The shots and the tackles, save points. That's good. I wish they'd explain the bonus. I think you can obviously work it out if you have enough time and look at the Opta's stats and all that, but I don't have time for that. But it'd be nice if you had it on the website, how they worked it out, who gets the extra bonus points and that. I can't think of anything else that I dislike. What about you, Fergie?
Yeah, I'm really enjoying it. I got to say, I think it's the game I've enjoyed the most since I started playing fantasy football. Like all over the years, I love, like, obviously Europe has always been in the game, but I think the 2 transfers a week is brilliant because it gives you opportunity to really be aggressive and actually make changes you want to make each week, rather than thinking, oh, I've got to make this crappy move this week because of next week. It keeps you really engaged. You can bring in anyone you want any week, basically, can't you? And scoring system's fantastic. Like on FPL, you look at your team at normal week, and you've got like 1, 2, 2, 6, 2, 2, 1, 8, 1, 2, 6. Whereas you're looking on your team here and you've got 9, 13, 4, 7, and it's because there's a massive variety of scoring. So players are rewarded for their on-pitch activity, even if they don't get the actual attacking returns or clean sheets. I really like that. I think it rewards good fantasy play and being able to identify, like you say, Matty Cash is, he's getting shots on target, he's getting forward, but you're rewarded for that rather than just going for a boring centre half. I love the deadline. I think that is massive for us because I'm sure you guys are the same, playing other formats as well. Alarms set in and waiting for lineups and having to go to the toilet in the middle of a Sunday lunch and all this shit we've had to do for years. So, like, just be able to do that, I'm really enjoying as well. Just do the deadline and done. The price rises are really poor. I completely agree with what James and Ben have said about those. There's just no rhyme or reason at all to them. I think the rises for the premiums, I think we noticed after game week 1, didn't we, are unnecessarily aggressive downwards and then opposite. So it's going to be towards the end of the season. Looks like the whole player pool is going to be all bunched, which is really poor. I think I don't think it's needed. Even with Salah now, I said I'm scared of him getting away from me, and I think Scott said about it with Trippier as well. But they're going to have to score 20 points a week to get away from you. And even then, it's only 0.1 every week, whereas last year they scored a goal star man up 0.3 guaranteed sort of thing. Yeah. So I think overall, I'm really, really enjoying it. And like I say, it's the most I've enjoyed a fantasy game in a long time, if not ever, to be honest.
Yeah, Haaland got a hat-trick the week before, didn't he? And then he went up 0.1. And Alvarez scored over 20 points. I think it was 27 points last week. He went up 0.1, but Rashford scored like 10 points less, and he went up 0.2. And he was dearer. It's like there's no way of working it out.
There's no correlation, is there? You should be able to have a rough idea. Alvarez should have gone up 0.2 last week, guaranteed. Like 100%. There should be no other, outcome, especially for his price, because he's low priced as well. But it just doesn't reward people getting on him early, because if he'd gone up 0.3, then it's harder for other people to get him in, maybe if they leave him another week or whatever. Whereas you can afford to wait on players. Or this is why I'm not massively thinking about, we've got to get on Newcastle defence, because all right, they might go up 0.1 every week, but that's easily catchable. Whereas in previous years, you'd have had 0.9 between 3 defenders. It's just not the same anymore. So
I think you've both really covered what I put down. I put down that I disliked the price changes. I'm actually liking the early transfers, which was the thing that at the beginning I thought that was the thing that was going to put me off the most. But no, I've quite enjoyed just it's in the game's hands, isn't it? By that first kickoff, you just haven't got to keep looking at it. So no, I think I've actually been enjoying it more, to be honest. And then the multiple transfers, I like that as well. Would you prefer it if there was no price changes? Because this is my first season playing Sky, and I found that quite strange, having only played FPL and Dream Team. If you got offered it, would you prefer if Dream Team didn't have price changes, or just go back to like last year? Because it got predictable last year.
Yeah.
I like the way Sky do it and there's no price changes, but what do you think, Fergie?
I think it can be quite aggressive in Dream Team in previous years. I think 0.3 is aggressive because there were certain teams by like Christmas last year where they'd gone from 50 million to 70 million, and I just think it doesn't matter how you play in the second half of the season, and you just can't afford a team like a decent team. And I found that out last year. I was in that exact boat where my team value was like, I don't know, say 61, 62. I compete with people who got 70 million value. I'm just not at the races. So I do think it was a bit aggressive previously. So I think, if they had this cap at 0.2, maybe, for example, I think that is reasonable because it's attainable. So I do like the rises because I do think it rewards, good play, getting on players early, and stuff. But I think previously it was a bit too aggressive, and I think now it's just too sporadic. But I do like the price change overall. I don't like FPL where they can raise any amount. It's so stressful. You're just you end up thinking about FPL every day of the week. Whereas a Dream Team, you just go, right, I know at this time and this date, this is going to happen, and you can just plan accordingly. But having the thing, you've got no money in the bank in FPL, and Jackson's dropping, Alvarez is rising, and you're like, you're up all evening going, what shall I do? What shall I do? It's like, oh my God, no, don't like that.
Then you got your profit when you buy and sell as well, haven't you? You've got to have a certain gain. I don't like that at all.
I don't like that either, no.
We've got DT Philip, I found this a tough one. So with Trossard out injured now, I'm looking at bringing Trippier in early. But to do so, I either take out Diaz and Trossard for Trips and Longstaff, or Estepinian and Trossard for Trippier and Anderson. As I want Trippier in, I can't afford him. Which option would be best going forward? So I guess the choice is Diaz and Trossard out for Trippier and Longstaff, or Estepinian and Trossard out for Trippier and Anderson. He's
Which
a Newcastle
Anderson?
fan.
The Newcastle midfielder.
I don't like either of the second players.
No.
Scraping the barrel with Anderson. I think out of the two, I'd go Anderson. But yeah, I must say, if there's a way that you can maybe just, I think I'd prefer to go for like a Botman or Burn and have someone a bit better than the other player, I think.
They're not nailed either, are they, Longstaff or Anderson?
No.
Can't he, like, if Reguilon's playing, still fit for next week, can't he get him?
Yeah, he's near, isn't it? 1.9.
I mean,
Yes,
Reguilon and Trippier's a bit better, isn't it, than Longstaff or Anderson?
I guess he's got, I think it's 1.5 he'd have.
All right.
Maybe a bit less.
Longstaff is 2.4.
Oh, is he? Anderson was 1.5.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'll do that then, if you haven't got him already. What do you reckon?
Yeah, we'll take out Diaz. I think he's looked good. I think you're asking for asking for trouble there.
I'll jump to this one. I know we've got. I think this is him in the chat actually, Philip. Unless it's a coincidence, another Philip with a Newcastle badge. You're right, Philip. Thanks for watching. As Park the Bus only doubles defenders' scores and not keepers, do you think a booster just for keepers would work, like Golden Gloves, which doubles the goalkeeper's points? James?
Possibly. When the people that make these games think of these chips, they're trying to create excitement. I don't think having a Golden Gloves would create as much excitement as, say, a max captain or 12th man. And do we really want do we really want more than 3 chips? I'm not sure. It's not a bad shout, but I don't think they'd ever do it, just because it wouldn't create as much excitement as maybe some of the other chips.
I like the name though, Golden Gloves.
That was a great name. Yeah,
it is, I was just add the keeper in with the part of the bus, maybe.
Yeah. I think I don't play Gaffer, but Gaffer's like a championship game. I think they have a chip.
You should play with Leicester then, shouldn't
you? I think they have a chip where you play both goalkeepers at the same time.
Oh, well, okay.
Where you play the substitute keeper and your first choice keeper. But yeah,
United could do with that.
To be honest, I'd rather not have any chips. I just think it's all luck if you're playing chips. I don't know. It's like FPL, isn't it? But it's, like you say, like James said, it's to make the game more exciting, to get more people interested in playing the game and to play it longer than they probably would normally. Like, because Dream Team, I would imagine a lot of people give up after like March when they think, I can't catch up because he's got, like you said, he's got 70 million. I've only got 55 million. But now they've made it a bit more, how would you say, like not universal, but so everyone can play it, and it's every week they've got to make a decision instead of like before we only had 5 transfers. You had to take your time with them, or you blow them all like Patrick used to. But now we have a decision every single week, so it's more interactive.
Yeah, I think we've changed his mind now. Philip is looking at Ward-Prowse and maybe a West Ham defender. So that's on you, Fergie. Ward-Prowse. That goes.
I would just put a caveat that I do think that they're going to do well. I'm not saying that they're not going to do well. I just think over a long period, other players are going to do better. They're home to Burnley next, right? They're gonna do well in that match. But
I like the Ward-Prowse pick as well. I think that's a good shout.
Yeah.
Trippier scored like 2 goals or something now. My name will be mud in the Discord. You'll have a channel Fergie is a prick. If it's not in it already.
We've got David87. He says best defensive options for 3.5 million and under for the upcoming weeks. He'd like to move on Dunk and Estupinian as Brighton cannot keep clean sheets. I think we've mentioned a few already, haven't we? But Ben, do you want to start off?
3.5 million. Well, Walker. I like the look of Walker, Saliba. Obviously, Reguilon's a good enabler. What about you, James?
Well, you've got the Villa fullbacks, didn't you? Cash. Zinchenko's quite cheap, I noticed. And Dallo, he's under there. And Reguilon were the ones I had written down. Estupiñán's doing all right, though, isn't he? He's still picking up assists and things like that. So I'm not sure I'd be desperate to get rid of him. Let's see what he's on. 28 points. I suppose it's not doing stellar. Brighton don't look like they will keep clean sheets. I do agree with that. They're very forward thinking. So those would be my choices. Like I said, Zinchenko's 3.4 now, I think.
3.2.
What do you think of him as a pick, Scott? Would you go there?
I do like him for that price, but I just think there are people that are doing better, like Matty Cash, for example. Yeah. He seems to come off early. I don't know if that's because he's come back from injury, but we like to bring Tomiyasu on now to either shore up games a little bit, or just protect him from injury, I think. But yeah, I don't mind it, but I think I would still just go with Saliba because he just seems to play every single game now. I think the concern with the Brighton defenders is they've not been keeping clean sheets, and now they've got Chelsea, Villa, Marseille, Liverpool, Man City, and Ajax. So I think they've got some tough games coming up, maybe apart from the Chelsea one. But I'd probably get rid of Dunk and maybe see if you can hang on to Estupiñán a little bit longer, maybe. But 3.5 million, you've covered it really. I think Cash or Reguilon for me. Nice and cheap. You've got money elsewhere then.
Yeah, got nothing to add really. Only other than I would say that while Brighton's fixtures in the short term are pretty naff for the next 2 or 3 weeks, towards the end of October they go on a really, really good run. Fulham, Everton, Ajax, Sheffield United, Forest, Athens, Chelsea, Brentford, Burnley. That's between like the end of October and going into December. So I think again, it's one of those. I don't think that Dunk looks a great option, so I'd probably get rid of Dunk, but I do think Estupiñán in those games is more than capable of getting like shots on target, assists, maybe even a goal. He could really, really haul. So I think I'm going to hold on to him for the longer term because I really like him as an option. But yeah, in terms of the replacements you've mentioned there, I can't argue with any of them really. Maybe West Ham fullbacks as well potentially. I haven't looked at them much, but Emerson's really attacking, isn't he?
Yeah, I like him. He didn't play the European game, but then I think he came off the bench in that one. So then we're on to our. Well, it says it's more of an observation than a question. We've been talking about the Park the Bus, and it's Ryan D. The comment. Been looking at Park the Bus quite a bit and when best to use it. But his own opinion is that the Premier League double game week is less chance of rotation than a European double game week. And with that in mind, he'd like to bring to our attention. He's very selfless here, Ryan. He's bringing to our attention 2 double game weeks to present to the community. Game week 14, you've got Arsenal have a double game week of Wolves at home and Luton away. And Liverpool have Fulham at home and Sheffield United away. And then in game week 17, Man City play Brentford at home, Everton away. And then Newcastle have Luton away and Forest at home. So just
are they going to be classed? Is that going to be classed as a double game week? Because they're different game weeks sort of FPL, aren't they? I suppose they are going to be in the same game week, aren't they?
I always look at the FF stuff one.
Yeah,
I think they're already mapped out.
Okay. Yeah, if that's the case, it looks
do they look different to FPL?
Yeah, it is down as a double game week in Dream Team, which if it is, that's a really, really good point. Really good point.
Yeah, I think that does look quite good for a double game week. Have you got that on the screen, Ben? What do you think of that double game week? They're the two that Ryan has brought up.
Yeah, I like them. Obviously, Arsenal, Wolves, Luton, Liverpool, Fulham, Sheffield United. Yeah,
you could have a nice mix of players there as well. You don't have to really manipulate your team too much. You can have an Arsenal defender, Man City defender, Newcastle defender, and you're not having to shove in all from one team because the other teams haven't got good fixtures. I really like you can organically move towards that rather than have to shove things around. I didn't realise that those would be a double game week. Actually, that's really interesting.
Yeah, it looks good for especially Trent. If you could get Trent in for Fulham home, Sheffield United away, it looks really nice.
And Newcastle away to Luton, home to Forest. Man City home to Brentford, away to Everton. Arsenal, Wolves, and Luton. Flipping heck, that could be massive.
Anything I don't like that much about the Arsenal defenders is they don't seem like they've got that much upside compared to like if you did kit out your defence with Trippier, Trent, maybe a Reguilon and a Cash, for example. But no, I like that for game week 14. The only thing I'd put down for game week 17, that's the 23rd of December and then Boxing Day.
Yeah, it makes
and if you think they've had a couple mince pies or a couple pints, I don't know how they go with their training, but if too many late nights or anything like that, it could distract them a little bit.
You've been watching too much of Arsenal in 1996, haven't you? Before Wenger come in.
I love that.
Wenger sorted all that out, didn't he?
Yeah, he banned ketchup and all that jazz, didn't he? Was it all stuff like that?
Yeah, he was the first manager to do it, weren't he?
Yeah.
Stop the Tuesday club.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, can you stop the kids opening the presents?
Thank you, Ryan. That is a good present, though. That is. I really like that. That's really made me think a lot because the quality of the teams playing. I think you're going to have a lot of those players anyway, aren't you?
Would it ruin your Christmas if you played it on 17 and it didn't go well?
Probably. Nothing can beat taking out Trent on Boxing Day against Leicester when he got a goal, 2 assists, and a clean sheet. That proper ruined my Christmas.
Yeah, Matt's making a good point. It's there you go. It's the old 23rd of December, yellow card, soft red card, so you're suspended for Boxing Day.
Oof. These guys are on form, aren't they? They're amazing observations. Fair play. Jesus. Really good stuff.
Right. Oh, we've got one more. It's a double game week, Easter. Games. Oh, James is back. Welcome back, James.
Hi, guys.
Any thoughts on that double game week in, I think it's December, or game week 14 and game week 17, the Premier League doubles?
Me, I thought they looked good. I like the point he was making about Premier League fixtures having less rotation. I did think that some of those matchups looked quite favourable, so I wouldn't be against doing that.
I do. Just to go back to the first question we were asked, when am I going to use my chips? I think I'm going to use Park the Best in game week 40. I really like that.
Game week 14 it is. Right. Ben, is there a Who Are You? Or are we passing it on to next week?
Tony was supposed to do Who Are You, wasn't he? But he's pulled out. We didn't mention it. He's pulled his back at work, so he's pulled out of the pod today. So we haven't got a Who Are You, unless you've got one up your sleeve.
No.
I enjoyed last week. So I guessed Ryan Bertrand. I thought I had it, and I was like, "Come on," but it wasn't.
We'll have to get on the ball with that then. We'll have to get back on with that. Ben, do you want to take over for these mini leagues? Have you got them on screen?
Yeah, just quickly mention the the Hub premium member giveaway.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
The top scorer this week, the last week was João Pedro. So no one guessed that. So it'll be rolling on to game week 7. Any of you guys want to have a quick guess who you think is going to be the highest score in game week 7? Have a quick look at the fixtures.
Well, I brought João Pedro back to life as well, haven't I? He's another one.
Yeah.
Game week 7.
I'll go for James Ward-Prowse.
Right, James
Gotta back
Ward-Prowse.
myself.
Anyone in the chat want a quick guess?
Yeah, or stick it in the comments if you're listening later on. I'm going to go Morris from Luton.
Morris.
Wild card.
I'll go Alvarez, Man City.
You put me on the spot here. United's fixtures look half decent that week. Wouldn't it be just like everyone's sort of talking about getting rid of Rashford? I'll go Rashford just because it would be the most fantasy football thing ever for him to go large in those fixtures.
Have we had a hat-trick other than Haaland yet?
Son that you missed out
Son
on.
and Ferguson, wasn't it?
Ferguson,
Of
yeah.
course. How did I forget that one? Right, Ben. Mini league top 10.
Yeah, let's have a look. So, this is the Dream Team Tonic Cash League. In 10th place, S. Williams. In 9th place, James Fricker with a massive 100 points. In 8th place, D. Slater. In 7th place, B. McLaren. In 6th place, M. Warlow. In 5th place, L. Greaves. In 4th place, Tony Sutcliffe, our very own. 3rd place, A. McGill. 2nd place, M. McKee. And top of the shop, C. Tobin. Connor Tobin.
Hey.
I'd have been 5th in this. Why am I not in this league? I have no idea why I didn't. I always enter.
Yeah, I don't know why you didn't enter the Cash League.
Oh, what a plonker. Never mind.
You can still join and catch up late.
Human.
You going to read one, James?
Yep, I'll do the next one, which is the Patreon League. In 10th, Ryan Driver. Come on, Ryan. You've dropped away recently. He's my tag team partner. I've overtaken him. Andy Barnett in 9th, Lee Hooper in 8th, me in 7th, Mark Tavares in 6th, 5th, Anthony Sutcliffe, 4th, Nathan Wisby, 3, Ben Coles, 2nd, Mark McKee, and 1st, Connor Tobin.
He's flying, Connor.
Shall I do it next one? Tonic League? Tonic Tag Team League at aboard. Oh, here we go. 10th place, Paul McNulty and Andrew Ferguson.
McNulty needs to pull his finger out.
They were 11th last
What's he
last
doing?
time you were
What
on
is he
radio.
doing?
You're rising slowly.
He's still going up though, yeah. 9th place, Andrew Tweddle and Lee Hooper. 8th place, Simon Davis and Stephen Williams. They've used 2 chips already. 7th place, James Fricker and Ryan Driver. 6th place, Jake Sylvester and Sam Taylor. They've used part of the bus. 5th place, Anthony Sutcliffe and Andy Barnett, the Blackburn duo. 4th place, Baz McCormack and Ben Coles. 3rd place, Tom Brinley and Aman Tatler. 2nd place, Lewis Wright and Matthew Kent. And 1st, Mark McKee and Patrick Bryson.
Wow.
Flying.
Well played.
Right. Next league. How many leagues is there?
Yeah,
Should we explain the new?
Yeah.
For the patrons, we've set up a new league system. How many leagues are there? Is it 3 or 4?
3 leagues.
3 leagues. And everyone's just been randomly put into a league, as far as I understand it. And there'll be promotion and relegation from those. So that's something we're doing for our patrons this year. And I think it then goes into a knockout format at some point.
Yeah, the top six from each league goes into a Champions League.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll just plan to read out who's top each week rather than do top 10 again.
Yeah, let's do the top this week, and we'll move on from that. We'll then move on because it's getting late.
Right, top of the Premier League is Ben Coles. Oh, you're joking. Where's the Championship?
You forgot to give me the graphic for that.
No, I'm not. That's Tony.
Right,
Tony,
okay.
sick note. Anyway, whoever's top of the Championship, well done.
Sorry.
Only playing week 1. And top of League 1 is James Fricker.
Oh.
How have you ended up down there? That's like Sunday League, isn't it? Where you start a new team so you can start at the bottom.
I told Tony he should have put me in the Premier League. He didn't listen. I would have been top of that as well.
Oh, there you go. Matt saved us. He says, haven't got a clue. Manuels is top of the champ.
Well done, El Manuels.
Someone saved us. Right. That's a wrap, isn't it? So thank you very much for watching, everyone. Do leave a like on the video and subscribe if you're not already. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Fergie, for joining us.
Yeah, thanks, guys. I'm just aware I hope we don't ruin everyone's season. Everyone listen about not getting in Trippier. Get him if you want to get him in. I'm not getting him in, but get him if you want to get him in. Please do. So yeah, thanks for having me on, guys. I really appreciate it. Always
thanks, guys. Apologies for the internet outages. It's just one of those days here.
That's all right. And then if you're not part of the Patreon, the Discord community already, there'll be a link in the description below for that one. But yeah, thanks, guys. That was good.
Cheers, everyone. Thanks for coming on, Fergie. Much appreciated.
Cheers, everyone. Bye.